Hey, Digi friends, Sammy and Michelle here for another discussion video where I am the one questioning Michelle about websites. And this is a real life thing that I think is going to apply well to any congregation or community, faith community that is trying to just get something up there as a website for themselves, but you don't want to pay a lot, you don't want to do a lot of work, you don't really want to make it hands-on, because that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I do work with Digi and Michelle, as you know well. I also have a video editing company and I might have some other endeavors. And I was like, I should have like a page somewhere online that's just me. Like everybody's got their like little personal brand page, and then it can send people to all these different places. So thinking my desires of it being cheap, easy, like pretty hands off, is probably similar to a lot of faith communities who are trying to get just an easy, quick website up there. So if that's you, let's see what Michelle can teach us, because I am not the website person. That is Michelle. She might be over here for you. I'm not sure which direction we're looking, but she is there and she's going to bring us the knowledge today on that. So Michelle,
Sammy,
we've talked about this. Not in depth, because we knew we were going to make this video and I knew I was going to pepper on the questions. So I'm like seriously wondering if I need a website or like a landing page, and do I need a domain for both of those things? And is that free anywhere?
oh, is it free anywhere? Absolutely. So
Really?
I would say Canva, now that it has website, fairly robust website capability, is a very good option. Absolutely free is you have a little some trade-offs, right? There's only 5 free websites you can have. There's the domain name has to have, it looks a little squirrely because it has Canva in there, but you can like kind of mask that with the bit.ly links. So it's not too bad looking. But Canva gives you a lot of templates already made. There's a ton of YouTube videos on how to do this. It's not hard. People are probably very, very familiar in our communities with Canva to begin with. It's just another step forward. Your graphics kind of come, bring in your graphics, and then you make pages and make links to those pages. So what you can accomplish as a landing page, absolutely. Can it accept email addresses? Can it direct to other places? You can even accept payments on it. So yes, there are payment gateways there. It can integrate with MailChimp.
On Canva?
Yes.
Okay.
Stripe.
Oh.
Maybe PayPal. But there are payment gateways that you can set up. So
I have so many more questions already.
Amazing. Okay, so we don't have to get, that's the thing I'm familiar with and probably the most excited about. MailChimp and probably other email marketing would allow you to make a landing page. Integrations, it's going to be right there. If you get signups, it's going to go into your MailChimp audience. That's probably one step less than Canva, but probably MailChimp wouldn't give you probably the variety of templates and plugins unless you pay for it, I would say.
Okay, so I'm taking notes as you're saying this. I can use MailChimp, I can use Canva. Both would be essentially a landing page. Is that correct? Canva
would be more. Canva would be more than just a landing page. It is a multiple page site. Yeah.
Okay, and with Canva, you said the domain is squirrely. I can mask it with a bit.ly link. Can I pay for a non-squirrely domain? And if I do, where? And like, how much is that going to cost me? And like, is that the only charge?
Yes. So with a domain, you could register that with HostGator, GoDaddy, Bluehost. All of the hosting companies also sell domains.
Oh, we have an affiliate for that, don't we?
Yes, we do have a Bluehost.
Bluehost, okay.
So typically those deals are you sign up for the hosting, and then your domain is free for the first year, and then after that you pay for it. It can be anywhere from $12 to $30. So make sure you look at the down line, which can be the second year. So if you're going to be hosting on Canva, you don't need the hosting, but you still need the domain name, so you are going to have to pay for that upfront. And that could be just a couple bucks for the first year. And then the annual renewal will be year after that.
So I have to pay for their hosting, even if I'm not using their hosting.
Well, no, you're paying for the registering of the domain name. And that's an assumption on my part, actually. Let me just clear that up, because the hosting companies want to sell you their hosting. They want you to stay there and build all your resources there. So as a perk, they say we can register your domain name here for free, and then you have all your assets in one place. But you don't need to use their hosting, because what you'll do with the domain names, essentially, you'll get what they call a DNS server, number, and you have to plug those numbers into Canva in the appropriate place, and then it points to your domain.
I have done that before, actually, many times, and it was very
frustrating.
Fun.
Yes. Yeah, probably the most cryptic thing you'd have to do with the website is DNS.
So, sorry, I'm making you wobble on my bike desk here as I process this. Can I just buy a domain somewhere, and is that cheaper than like one of these sites that's just like packaging everything, or is everything going to be packaging and you can't separate domain?
You can separate, yeah.
Okay. And how much would just the domain be if I decide to use Canva?
Their domains are, you can sign up for a domain through them, and I believe that's $20 maybe a year.
A year?
Maybe less than that.
Is that Canva, or is that like GoDaddy, Bluehost?
Well, you can buy the domain through Canva
for $20 a year.
About that, yeah.
I thought it was more expensive in Canva.
I thought it was too, but I think they're being more competitive now.
Ah, that's nice to hear. So is it better to just buy it through Canva and then do everything through Canva, or should I use like one of those other sites? Like, I don't know why.
Well, if you buy it through Canva, you avoid all that DNS stuff, I think, because they will all be set up right there.
Okay.
It also depends on what type of domain name you want. You know, a .com, a .org, a .church. The more sophisticated ones are a little more expensive.
And now, do you think there is should we be hazardous or tentative about using Canva for this because it's new? Like, do you think I should be? I mean, Canva's good at what they do. I've used them for so many things, and they're always adding new features. But I'm also like, but do I trust my entirety of a website, my hosting, my domain with them? Like, what do you think?
That's a good question. I guess it depends. Now, if you can look in their crystal ball and say, well, a year from now, I want to be, this big, and I want to be doing this and offering this. It may be that Canva is not capable of offering that. They don't have a plugin concept. They don't yet. They don't have, you don't have to worry about caching and the speed of your website, which is good. So those are good things. But then, could it do everything a WordPress could do? At this point, probably not. But then, are you going to be selling, transactional things like Amazon? If you're going to be doing that, probably not Canva. It's going to be your best bet. If you're just going to be serving up information, offering courses, a big thing now, right? I don't know that Canva could do that seamlessly right now. You could probably make it do it, but it would be a little clunky, possibly. And then the next thing to think about too is, well, I can use Canva's good now because it's budget friendly and it's okay for now, but when I'm ready to go somewhere else, how do I migrate from Canva to something else? And that's honestly a question I haven't researched too much yet because it's so new.
Well, let me tell you, I've rebuilt my video editing website like 4 times my first year. And so I don't really want to do that again. Like, I don't want to have to migrate. Well, that wasn't migrating. That was just me redoing it. Okay, so thinking about churches then and faith communities in general, if they're looking for like a cheaper option, they probably just want to get their information up there. So this could work for them. It's cheap. You can buy their domain in there. One thing that comes to mind as far as a user interface, user experience type of thing, I watched the video that I filmed that you researched that we made. I'll link it somewhere up here of the pros and cons of Canva for websites. I say I watched it like that because I was in the video. And I said your researched words that the buttons are not responsive. Like they're just flat buttons, right? So when you hover over them, they're not like, I'm a button, click me. So it's hard maybe to tell that they're functional. It seems like a little thing, but I feel like that really gives me like an vibe, like almost like this is from the 90s, early 2000s, like not very like, I don't know. Like it is a little thing, but it seems like it would affect how people use the website. So what are your thoughts on that?
If enough people complain about that, they'll make it an enhancement. And think about animation in other parts of Canva, right? The little graphics can be animated, I believe.
That's true.
There is some motion there. So I wouldn't be surprised if within 6 months, 8 months, they have that feature to allow buttons to be animated like that. Okay. And you know what? There's probably someone out there who has figured out how to do it.
True.
So, I mean, if you make the button, with like a shadow underneath it and use some sort of an animated font, maybe that would do it. The animate fonts.
I don't know. I mean, that brings up a good point though, because we have a Canva Pro subscription, which faith communities should be able to get for free. We don't have it for free, but we have it because it's well worth the cost for us to have access to everything they have in there and all the features. Do I get to access, like, I don't know, have you been in Canva websites and can you access like everything like that I normally would access for creating designs? I mean, there's so much like stock footage and video in there. There's the graphics that now animate a lot of the time. Can I do all of that? Can I use that same panel on my website?
Well, the Canva canvas, right, is just the same thing you use for graphics.
Okay, so it is the same, looks the same.
Same exact thing. Instead of starting a Facebook post, you start a website. And then you have your list of templates available, and then you can bring in any of the assets that you need.
Awesome. That's really cool. A question about maintenance, because I don't do much with our website personally, but we use a shared email for DIGI, so I'm always seeing those notifications of like, we just updated your site and your plugins were installed correctly and blah 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 blah, and it's like every day. How much maintenance do you think I would have to do on if a site like Canva, or even if someone uses MailChimp as like a landing page? Is there like, do I have to worry that I'm going to log in one day and my site's just going to be like gone?
There's no concept of maintaining a site in Canva. Like Canva kind of takes care of it all because there's no back end access to it. So all you have access to is the front end. So I don't see anything that, like plugins or caching or any settings that I can change. It's just all in the Canva ecosystem.
Okay. Is that like, that's okay? I mean,
that's a good thing. That is a very good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just seems so like uncomplicated compared to everything else that's widely used that I'm almost like, why are we? It's like, okay, I know people like driving stick shift, but for me, someone that does not and uses an automatic car and always has, I'm like, why do you make it harder for yourself to drive a vehicle? And then the stick shift people are like, oh, you have so much more control and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't need that control. I just want to drive the car, and I want it to be easy. So is this like that where it's
exactly
like, okay,
yep. Exactly. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to control every setting on your cache plugin. Just get something out there with Canva.
Cool.
I mean, literally like 30 minutes to an hour, you can have a landing page made for your VBS or your preschool, summer school or something.
Oh, that's interesting. So like literally making, now if they have a site already somewhere else, these people aren't probably watching this video, but let's just say someone had a site somewhere else, hosted up there somewhere else, but they just wanted to make like a quick landing page. Can they connect that to their, that's the DNS thing, to connect it to their domain, like in a subdomain or something?
No, so their main site would have a link on the menu, on the header bar, to link it over there to like say this is what we're doing too. But I don't think that the two of them can like talk to each other behind the scenes.
Not that they need to talk to each other, just so that let's say we have digivangelism.org going on, and then I'm like, Michelle, I want to do this cool day thing, and I'm going to run it all, and I'm going to make the landing page. And I go into Canva and I say, 1-day event with Digivangelism. Is there any way to make that be like a Digivangelism URL, not like the squirrely Canva one?
Digivangelism URL, yes, then you're making a subdomain on Digivangelism, and then you're registering that Canva website with the DNS information.
So I
onto
register
the
it with
subdomain.
Bluehost, which is what we use.
Correct.
And I put, and how would it's pretty easy to find this DNS stuff with Canva?
You don't find it with Canva, you find it with your hosting company.
I find it with Bluehost. I find the information and I put it somewhere with Canva, but I have to figure out where.
Right. Yeah, that's there's videos on that too.
Okay. Okay, and you're pretty convinced that I can get email addresses and do some basic payment things through Canva?
I am.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
This is such an upgrade for the world.
Game changer.
Game changer. I feel pretty confident that I want to do this, and I'm a little terrified, but you've really answered my questions because I had a lot. I'm looking at them.
Yeah. Like we said in our other video, pros and cons to everything, trade-offs, but really, don't get hung up on those. What is going to work for you? What are your goals? What's your end game? Is Canva going to work? Then use it. Canva going to be outdated for you in a year? Use it anyway, just to get the experience with it, just to build up just a mailing list or contacts, and then move it to Squarespace or MailChimp or something else.
So Michelle, if someone is like, this sounds cool, but I still don't want to do it, can they reach out to, was that something we could help with? I know most of the sites we've worked with we work with the back end stuff, the hosting, blah, blah, blah. But we could just make them a Canva landing page if they really wanted.
I think we can.
We have, as long as they give us a copy, right?
Better yet, walk them through it, hands-on tutorial.
Cool. So we can train them to do it, or we can do it.
Yes.
I love it.
We will.
Okay. Well, thanks for educating me today.
You're welcome.
Michelle brought the knowledge. So put it in action, or if you have questions, drop them below. We'd love to make a follow-up video where I can pick her brain.
Maybe we'll get a guinea pig out of this. Someone will take us up on this and we can walk them through and use them for video.
Love it.